order in order to indicate who is doing what in a sentence. For example, I have two sentences here. I have Hamid helped Zaid. Please take a close look. I'm sure you understand this very well. The second sentence I have Zaid helped Hamid. Now, as an English speaker, you have no problem easily identifying in the first sentence who's the doer and who's the object. So Hamid helped Zaid. Hamid is the doer, subject or doer, and helped is the verb. And who received the help? Zaid as the object. In the same way, we have Zaid, subject, helped, and we have the doer, the object at the end, Hamid. So in these two sentence examples, I've changed the word order around, so I've completely altered the meaning of the two sentences. But grammatically speaking, they're in the same structure. I put the subject first in English, then I put the verb, then I put the object. Please remember that is the standard English sentence structure. Hamid helped Zaid. In the second example, Zaid helped Hamid. You can see here the meaning is completely different. However, the grammatical structure is the same. So in English, the subject always comes first, then the verb, then the object. This is the standard order of English sentences. I change the word order around, I alter the meaning of the sentence. And as long as I stick to the English structure of the sentence, I can produce as many sentences as I want in the English language. One more example to illustrate word order. Here we have Zaid ate the mango. There is no ambiguity here. Who's done the act of eating? Of course, it's in the past tense. This is our verb. And this is our doer of the verb because it's coming first. And this is our object. I hope, inshallah, these things are easy for you to realize. So we have the doer, the verb, and the object. If I were to change the order around, I will end up with the mango ate Zaid. Now I have my doer, I have my verb, and I have my object. So the sentence makes perfect sense. You might disagree, say that, well, mangoes don't eat people, but you haven't seen. There may be some strange island where giant mangoes are chasing people. You don't know. The sentence is correct. Whether you agree with the sentence or not is a different issue. So here I've changed the word order around and I've altered the meaning. And this is very, very important. In English, it is the word order. And that's how we know who's doing what. So in the second example, the mango ate Zaid. In the first example, Zaid is the one who ate the mango. We know who ate it, Zaid. In the second example, we know why Zaid is missing, because he's been eaten by the mango. And that is the structure of the English language. Now let us look at how Arabic does it. Even though in English we're relying on word order, Arabic does it through I'rab. And let's take some examples of that, inshallah. We have noted that in the English structure, we are dependent upon the word order. The subject coming first, then the verb, then the object. In Arabic, the word order is not what it relies upon mainly to express the role of the ism in a sentence. What in Arabic is used primarily is I'rab. I'rab tells us the role, the function that the ism is playing in the sentence. So take an example here, Hamid helped Zaid. Now in order to say that in Arabic, I will say Nasara, and I'll keep that in red, inshallah, the verb. And we have Nasara Hamidun. Why Hamidun? Because it is the doer of the sentence. Who did he help? He helped Zaid. So it will be Zaidan. Zaidan is the object. In the second example, let's put the Hamid first. Hamidun. Then we put the verb. Nasara. Who did he help? Zaid. So it will be Zaidan. Zaidan. In the third example, let's put Nasara again in the front. And we'll put Zaidan first. And put Hamidun at the end. Now, in the all three examples that we have, I hope you can easily recognize that the word order is completely different. There is no standard word order here. In all three, I have jumbled up the words in different combination. I can add more to it, but three, inshallah, will suffice. So we see Nasara, we see Hamidun at the end. That dun at the end tells us that that is our doer. So the doer of the sentence is Hamid. Doer of the verb is Hamid, and in all three cases we have Hamid with the un ending, and Zaid all ending with an, which you can see inshallah ta'ala, Zaidan, Zaidan, Zaidan in all three examples. Even though the word order is completely different, but the meaning of the sentence is essentially the same. Yes, in Arabic, inshallah, when you get to intermediate level, you realize that the word order does give us more additional subtle meaning, but the basic essential meaning is exactly the same, even though the word order is completely different. So this is one of the unique features of Arabic, which gives it a lot of flexibility when it comes to word structure and subtleness and of course depth of meaning. So if you want to say Zaid helped Hamid, in the first examples we had Hamid helped Zaid. So here let's put Nasara in the same way as we've done before. So Zaid is doing the act, so it will be Zaidun. And who is helping? Who's been helped? Sorry, Hamidan. Nasara Zaidun Hamidan. In the second example, we will put Zaid first, Zaidun, Nasara, and it will put Hamid at the end. So again, you can see the order has been changed. So let's do one more example exactly the same as we had there, the opposite. Nasara. So you can see in the all three examples now, we have the endings the same, word order is completely different, and therefore we have our basic meaning of Zaid helped Hamid. Again, I'll highlight Zaid here for you just to illustrate the point that it has the ending of un. So you can see here, un indicates the doer, an indicates the object, and it is the same principle right throughout in the Arabic language. So you can see three different word orders, but essentially we have the same meaning. And this is the beauty, this is the flexibility of the Arabic language. So please note the major difference. English, we use word order. Arabic is not reliant upon word order, but the ending at the ends of the words, of the isms, to indicate their role or function in a sentence. So in the examples we have here on the screen, what is important to illustrate, it is the I'rab that is telling us who's doing what, and therefore I'rab is there to remove confusion. There is no confusion now, and it's making the message of the sentence very, very clear for us. So I hope, inshallah, from these examples you can note that unless you understand or recognize I'rab, you'll not be able to translate correctly, as you will not know in this example who's doing the act, who's receiving the act. There are a number of roles an ism can play in a sentence. Inshallah, we're going to look at all of them in this course. Just to start you off, if you can just make a note of this screen, inshallah, few points for yourself. In a sentence, whenever the ism is playing the role of the doer, which we've already seen being illustrated, it will always be rafa. It will always be rafa. Please note that. The second and the third is when we look at nominal sentence. We're going to pick up in lesson number 2 in some detail. Whenever the ism plays the role of the subject or predicate of a nominal sentence, inshallah, you'll see it very clearly. It is always rafa. So there are 3 roles here. Inshallah, by the time we get to the lesson number 2, you'll become familiar with these concepts. As far as nasab is concerned, there are many. The most important one is that the object. So I saw a Muslim, ra'aytu musliman. Ra'aytu musliman, object. And the third I'rab, which is jar. Jar, essentially there are only 2 reasons in Arabic, only 2. When an ism can be in the status of jar or in the state of jar. So they are, one, when they come after a preposition like ala, or when they're possessive. When they're possessive, both of which we've seen some examples of. And inshallah ta'ala, we'll cover them in detail in lesson number 8, 9, 10, and 11. So this is the basic points that you need to know. Are there more roles than that? Yes. There are essentially, depends on how you categorize them, 8 roles that indicate that its i'rab will always be rafa. There are 12 for nasab, and there are only 2 for jar. Again, don't panic. All of this is discussed in detail in this course, and inshallah in the appendix of book 1 I've given you a summary of the entire subject, or in the subject of rice. So this is the impact of role. Role will dictate what the i'rab will be. As far as the different categories of ism and how they change their ending to reflect i'rab, you will note inshallah in lesson number 7 we will go through the major categories in detail. However, for now, note that 85% of them will change based on the change at the end of the word represented by tanween. So we have muslimun, musliman, muslimin, and you have the 3 ending. This one representing rafa, this one representing nasab, and this one representing jar. I did tell you at the introduction that tanween is going to play a very important role in your studies. This is an illustration of that. When you add al to a word that has tanween, of course the tanween will disappear and you're left with u, a, and e. The i'rab is the same. It is the al that has made the tanween disappear. So 85% of the categories of ism will express their i'rab using un, an, and in. So in summary, role, i'rab. What do we mean by that? The role of the ism dictates its i'rab, whether it will be rafa, nasab, or jar. It is the category of the ism that will tell us how it will express the i'rab. So category and expression or express, the category of the ism will govern how to express its i'rab. And these are the 4 points you need to remember, and you will have a full mastery of the subject of i'rab. It is not complicated as many people make it out, and it is not something that for you to give up your Arabic on. Inshallah, all it is a different way of doing the same thing as we do in the English language. So please note, inshallah, all of these points will be expressed to you in full detail with lots of examples, and we will use mainly Quranic examples as we go through the topic: role, i'rab, category, expression. So what we have discussed so far is summarized in this screen. The subject of i'rab as a summary for all of us, inshallah, to move forward in the study. So again, please note there are only 3 categories of i'rab. Either it will be rafa, or it will be nasab, or it will be jar. So you can see them here: rafa, nasab, or jar. And the reason why, or the role that they play, I've only given a few here: subject and doer, object for nasab, after a preposition, or possessive for jar. And the classical example to remember: muslimun, musliman, muslimin. So that summarizes the topic we've been discussing so far. We've been discussing role, rice, remember, role, i'rab, category, and expression. Of course, muslimun, musliman, muslimin, expression through tanween. And this is the sign example that you can see illustrated here on the screen. So when an ism is in rafa status, case, or whichever word that you want to use, it is said to be marfu'. So again, another terminology for you: when it is nasab, we call it mansub. When it is jar, we call it majroor. So these are the few points of terminology that we will use throughout the course. Please note, in most books you will have it named, for example, as nominative for rafa, accusative for nasab, and genitive for jar. I do not use those terms when teaching this subject to English speaking students. The reason why I don't, because most of us, those who speak English, have no idea what those words mean. We don't use it in normal conversation, and only a few, very small percentage of specialists, those who've studied possibly other languages, or those who studied advanced level grammar and things like this, may be aware of these terms. But overwhelming majority of English speakers do not use them. And when I looked into them, I found that it doesn't usually translate directly with Arabic. So these terminologies of nominative, accusative, and genitive, etc., will just cause you more and more confusion. We're going to stick with the original Arabic terminology, inshallah. all you need to know is just know their names and know how to recognize them. And again, 85% is one method. So alhamdulillah, the others we will study as we go along with the subject. So please avoid using nominative, accusative, and all of those terms. They will just confuse you, unless you're already familiar with those terms. So use rafa, nasab, and jar. And please note, I'll be using R for rafa, N for nasab, and J for jar, or the arrow when we have a lot of text on the screen just to indicate that it is rafa, nasab, and jar. So this screen will give you all that you need. So I hope and pray that you found this lesson of benefit. It is a fundamental lesson in Arabic, inshallah ta'ala. May Allah reward you, bless you for watching the videos, for all your kind comments. And inshallah ta'ala, this is lesson 1. I intend to complete all the lessons in the book 1 and then continue to book 2 inshallah very soon after. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive my mistakes, and may Allah bless you and reward all of you for your continued support, dua, and your messages. And inshallah ta'ala, let's all